Hey girls, welcome back to my channel. So you might not know, I lost 45 pounds. And when I was going through that journey, one of the most important things to me was trying to figure out how to get my tummy flatter. And I was doing so many things that I thought were helping that I later realized were doing the exact opposite. So I have 5 things I want to share with you that I had to stop to get a flat stomach and keep it to this day. But the 4th one is one no one talks about. But when I finally stopped doing this, I saw the best results the fastest. So I'm going to break them all down for you and tell you exactly what to do instead and what I did to lose 45 pounds and get a flat tummy. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna share the easiest way to see results overnight. And I know changing 5 things can feel like a lot, but I promise they're so easy you can start these today. So if you've ever struggled with your weight or a belly pooch, I literally made this video for you. Sweat the thumbs up, that just means give it a little click. It would really mean so much to me if you like this video and share it with your friends. And if you're new to my channel, I'm so happy you're here. I have new videos every week sharing my health and fitness journey to help you with yours, and I do giveaways every week for my subscribers. So all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and drop a comment down below. I randomly pick a winner and share it over in the post channel every week. All right, real fast before we get into it, I feel like it's so important for us to be able to connect on things that we have in common. And one thing I think most of us women probably have in common is the fact we have tried some crazy extreme diet at some point or other. So if that is you, comment down below, tell me the craziest thing you've ever done to try to lose weight, and we can all kind of just come together and be a little support system. So the first thing I stopped doing, and this is important, listen up, I feel like we've all been guilty of this. I stopped pretending that weekends didn't count. When I was in like my deepest dieting phase, I would be so strict, even when it was probably an unhealthy level in like crazy caloric deficits or cutting out food groups. But Monday through Friday, I would be like locked in. And then the weekend would roll around and I'd do brunches and cocktails and dinners out. And I would justify it in my mind by saying like, oh, well, I worked so hard and was so good all week, so it's not a big deal. But it was a big deal. Sometimes I would be in a surplus of thousands of calories within a weekend. And it was no wonder that I not only felt bloated and looked bloated, but that I couldn't actually lose any fat. And now as a sports nutritionist and personal trainer who's like dug into the research, there are studies that actually show that weekends can account for up to 30% or more of excess calories, really hindering women's progress. So we do have to be mindful of the weekends. That doesn't mean you have to be strict and you shouldn't be crazy strict all the time. It's really about finding a healthy balance. That's why I'm always all about that 80-20 lifestyle. So if you're someone who kind of plans for cheat days or cheat weekends, one thing you can do to make it a lot easier and see progress a lot faster is kind of limit it to 1 meal. So if you know you're going to be going out to dinner on the weekend, plan that meal to still have as much healthy food as you can, but maybe there's some extras, or the fact you're just going out, you know you're going to have things like French fries or a cocktail. If you guys watch my What I Eat in a Day from last week, you know this is how I live, but my foundation is solid and it allows for more of that balance every day. Number 2 is a big one for me, and if I'm being honest, I still kind of struggle with this once in a while, but that is I had to stop ignoring my food intolerances or sensitivities. What happens is you might not have a huge reaction. So I recently found out I'm apparently lactose intolerant. I can eat cheese pretty much unbothered. I don't have like a big reaction to it, but you might not know you have a sensitivity or an intolerance to a food. And even if you're not physically responding, you're not like sick and like healed over, you might have bloating, you might have gas, you might have internal inflammation, which you don't even feel necessarily, but it's gonna cause a lot of water retention. And then you're just gonna look puffy and bloated all the time. So I really had to start paying attention to how foods made me feel. When I was eating out, I'd go out to dinner. I literally thought leaving in pain was normal. I've talked about this in so many videos. I thought that was normal. You should not be in pain when you leave dinner from somewhere. So there's a lot of things that could be happening. One, it could be the fried, greasy ingredients that just shouldn't sit well with anyone and make most people feel uncomfortable and bloated. Or maybe there's an intolerance to gluten or dairy that you're not even totally sure of. But once I started removing those foods out of my diet, I was like, oh, wait, I don't have that pain. I don't have that bloating. TMI. But on this note, I didn't realize that that was a root of a lot of my constipation. So the other reason I looked like I had a big stomach, even when I'm like, I'm eating healthy, I should be losing more weight. Well, it's because I also was full of poop that was taking up a lot of space and making me more bloated because I was eating these foods that were constipating me. And I was like, well, I can't go to the bathroom and I'm bloated and I'm retaining water. Of course I look 15 pounds heavier. So think about that too. But the third one is one that also had a really really huge impact on me. And I've talked about this before, but I have to drive it home because so many of us, especially in America, do not realize the impact it has on our stomachs. And that is, I had to stop eating so many processed foods. I think 90% of my diet was processed at the time. So I was getting everything in packages, frozen foods. I think for me, it was a lot of the sugar-free, low-fat. Those are all very highly processed candies and crackers. Oh, you can't forget the fiber bars. Oh, the fiber bars. So my point is, these processed foods cause a lot of inflammation and disrupt our gut microbiome, which is going to cause a ton of bloating and again, that water retention, and make it harder for us to lose weight. If your hormones are out of whack, if your gut is out of whack, even if your diet, your caloric intake is right, you can still struggle with this. The more whole foods you're incorporating, the more balanced your nutrition is, the less processed foods, you inevitably are going to start dropping some weight. A starting point for me was to stop stressing so much about like the caloric intake. Of course, calories are important if you're trying to lose fat, but getting off the processed food, it was more about just trying to swap in whole nutritious foods. So a very simple kind of rule to live by that'll help make this easy to just start reducing any processed foods. Of course, the closest it is to how it's found in nature is best. That's going to be the easiest. But then when it comes like the packaged foods and things, try to find things that have ideally like less than 10 ingredients. 5 or 6 is great, especially if you're looking at like protein bars and things, and make sure you can pronounce them. That's a really good gauge of if it's something that we should probably be putting in our body that's not going to leave us feeling nasty. Really fast before I share it, if you guys are enjoying this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really means a lot for me and helps my channel. So number 4 was I had to stop eating raw vegetables. I didn't say I stopped eating vegetables. Of course I ate vegetables, but I had to stop eating raw vegetables. And here's why. I was eating like massive salads every day. I would take bags of raw broccoli to work to like dip in dressing to eat. And I was like, okay, this is fiber. It's gonna help fill me up. I'm gonna feel good. This is whole food. I need all these veggies. And I felt terrible. There are 2 things that were really happening. One, in general, those raw veggies obviously are super high in fiber. And if you go from processed garbage food that does not have a lot of fiber to all of a sudden eating a lot of fiber, it's gonna make you bloated. So you kind of have to step it anytime you're increasing your fiber. We need more fiber, but you gotta like take it slow. The second thing is with hypothyroidism, cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, those can all be really hard for us to digest in general. And for most people, to be honest, just extra hard if you have hypothyroidism like me. So you need to cook them and cook them very well. It's gonna break them down and make them a lot easier to digest. My stomach almost instantly got so much flatter and more toned looking. And I did not realize that those vegetables alone could have been making such a huge difference. Try cooking your veggies. It's easier to get them down. You're going to be able to eat more of them in general, which will be better to help keep you full, get that good fiber, and help with your overall weight loss goals too. Number 5, anyone who has been in the dieting world for any amount of time has probably stressed about this, but I had to stop stressing about eating fats. I was so scared of fats. Like after carbohydrates, fats were like the other thing I was like, I'm like, what are you supposed to eat? You don't eat carbs and fats? Then that's just chicken or processed crazy foods and all these fake things. And that's exactly what had happened. So I got my carbs back in, but I was still stressed about fats. And I would eat all of these low fat foods. Everything I'd buy, I'd look for low fat cheeses, low fat cottage cheese, literally anything that was low fat. I was like, yep, that's it. Must be healthy. I need to eat that. But what I realized was when things are low fat, one, they're usually highly processed. They typically have a lot of added sugars or artificial sugars in them, and they don't leave you as satiated. You end up eating more, and that's what I did. When I stopped being so scared of fats and started eating more healthy fats like avocados and nuts and seeds in a healthy amount throughout the day, I felt so much better, and I actually started losing a lot more weight. Again, you have to make sure you're not overdoing it because even healthy fats, too many, those calories add up really quickly and you can add weight. And I struggled with that at a point too. But when I figured out that right balance of healthy fats and I swapped my low fat foods for just real fats that actually made me feel more full, I was in total in a day eating less calories because I wasn't overeating all those healthy low fat things. All right, so a really practical way to do this, if you're not eating a lot of healthy fats right now, just start adding like a bit to every meal throughout the day. So a serving size is about the size of your thumb. So think of like a piece of cheese, avocado, a small handful of nuts, like 10 to 16 nuts usually. Just a little bit is all you need. It goes a long way, but that's really, really gonna help, and you'll start to see results in your overall body and fat loss because it's gonna impact your appetite all day. Okay, so we got through all 5. Quick recap of them. Number 1, I stopped pretending weekends don't count. They count, friends. Number 2, I stopped ignoring those food sensitivities and intolerances. Number 3, I stopped eating so many processed foods. 4, I stopped eating the raw vegetables. I promise if you've got that belly pooch that won't quit, try this. It's gonna make a difference. And number 5, I stopped stressing about eating fats. At the end of the day, this wasn't about restriction. It wasn't a diet. I didn't count or track anything at this point. It was really about learning to listen to my body and what made me feel good, what helped reduce that bloating, reduce the water retention, and help my stomach really flatten out so much. But there is one thing that I've been doing every day that helps like overnight. If you are dealing with bloating, if you have a hard time digesting these foods, it's gonna be a game changer. So this is Bloat Begone. I've been in development for almost 2 years on this, and it is this incredible blend of digestive enzyme and natural herb that really help break down fats, proteins, and carbs to diminish bloating, help you avoid it when you're eating, and then get rid of it if you've gone out and eaten something that's made you really bloated. And overnight, you will wake up feeling so good. But I take these throughout the day too. So I feel like I have a hard time just breaking down food in general. So even in just my normal lunches and meals throughout the day, I take 2 Bloat Begone. At night, if I'm going out, I always have this. I've had it in my purse secretly for the last like year, and we'll take it every time we go out to dinner. It has been an absolute game changer for me. I feel like my regularity, like going to the bathroom, has been so much better, but also just being able to go out and enjoy food and not feel like you're like, oh, like in pain afterwards is awesome. So it has this incredible digestive enzyme blend. There's protease, amylase, cellulase, lipase, bromelain, and papain, which are from papaya and pineapple that naturally really help your body digest food. It also has slippery elm bark, licorice root, peppermint leaf, turmeric root powder, dandelion, and ginger, lemon balm leaf. All of these herbs naturally help ease everything that's going on in your gut. It helps with your digestion throughout the intestinal tract. I'm so proud of it. We went through so many iterations working with the best experts in the United States to create this blend. There's nothing else like it. So if you deal with bloating, if you deal with any like digestive issues, you need some Bloat Begone in your life. It's launching later this month. So I'm gonna put a link down below if you wanna sign up to be the first to learn more about it, to know when it launches. Drop your email in that link, because she's coming. Drop a comment down below and let me know which one of these habits you are going to stop first, and come back in a week or 2 and let me know how you're feeling, because I guarantee you're gonna feel so good, and I wanna make sure we check in with each other. All right, girls, I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure you go check over in that post later today to see if you won this week's subscriber giveaway. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.